Well, hello there, everybody. This is a pre-recorded live stream. I try to be transparent, and I got a lot going on, but I wanted to at least get something out. There's a stream. Actually, I'm recording this on Wednesday, and there's a stream going out tonight that we recorded. It's a little over 2 hours, but I had a couple of guests, so a lot of good conversation there, by the way. I'm Spirit of 420. Nice to see all you folks. I am Spirit of 420 because everything I do is so 420. With that said, I'll make it pretty quick. Supposed to have originally I was supposed to have a guest on, and they are going to be on. Just to give you a little preview real quick. So it's these folks here, and then let me throw up their information. So it's New Age Cannabis Podcast. They are based out of Johannesburg, and again, I was going to have them on. The whole reason I went ahead and decided to record this is because I was going to be recording today. I was going to record them, have them on as a guest. But unfortunately, I didn't know this, and Johannesburg deals with power issues. Let's just call it that way, or say it like that. And part of that issue is that right now, this isn't all the time, from my understanding, but right now, currently, from around 7 p.m. their time to around 10 p.m. their time, they are in blackout. So when he came in and everything was great, except I could barely see him. It was literally just the light of his laptop, which obviously he had to charge up just to be able to do this. But it was literally just the light of his laptop, and I could barely see him. Yao is his name, Y-O-W. Very nice guy. It was I was really interested and excited to talk to him. And by the way, here's their social links. I'm going to let that run by there for a moment. Anyway, it was going to be a lot of fun, and we're still going to be doing it. We'll be recording that Monday. I don't know exactly when it'll go live. I don't want to speak too early, but my guess is it will probably be the following Tuesday that streams live, because that Tuesday is whatever day that is. If everything goes according to plan, it'll be that Tuesday. And I'm funny enough now, Monday is technically the launch day, and I think we're going to push that up on Dank.Tube by 4 hours and 50 minutes. Spirit of 420 launched on 420 at 420 local time. So it seems only fitting that Dank.Tube, the other project that I'm doing, launch on 7:10 at 7:10, which is just 4 hours and 50 minutes earlier than what we already had scheduled. Although I did love 7-Eleven, it just makes sense that we actually launch on one of the holidays that we have for cannabis, right? So with that, and to move on, New Age Cannabis Podcast will be on the show very soon. We also have show has some other guests lined up, but I will wait to announce those once we get dates. We're going to be continuing to do collaborations, and we'll be having not only the vets from Urban Growers back on, but we'll also have the folks over there at Military. No, I had it right. Military Health Network. Or no, I did say it wrong. Excuse me. Oh my God. Military Vet Network. There we go. Military Vet Network. Isn't that right? Okay. Hopefully it is. I've had so much going on that I'm honestly, here, I'll show you who it is. There's their name. Yes. So there it is. Military Vet Network. Okay. But again, these folks will be on the show with me next week sometime. It'll either be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday when that airs. We'll see. And then I have some more things coming, as I said. So go ahead and put mine back up here real quick. Dank.Tube is moving along fine. Part of the reason that I'm absent right now and not really having the opportunity to do as many shows as I would like to do, and as I would normally do, or tweet as much as I would normally do, or any of that stuff, is trying to get Dank.Tube finished. And by that, I mean we're making a lot of these really corny, funny videos. Having a lot of fun, getting really high. And the whole goal is that we end up having, at least a video. And the way that it works on Dank.Tube, you can actually have your video listed in more than one strain. Strains, again, are categories. Just like marijuana has strains, Dank.Tube has strains. You also are going to have stashes, but we'll get into all that later. The most important part to take from this is the fact that we are recording some really funny, goofy-ass videos. None of it is meant to be disrespectful. I'll tell you that. It's all meant in fun. So hopefully everybody will keep that in mind as they go up. I don't think any of them will be disrespectful. The only one that I'm a little concerned about, and I'll say this since I am a polypansexual and I am part of the community. I don't get the acronyms right, so I'm not even going to try, but it's the LGBT something Q. I don't get the acronym right, even though I'm part of the community. I know that's horrible because I can't stand labels. Two, I already label myself as what I am, but I try to label it to me it's the broadest of the labels, pansexual and polysexual. So regardless, that's the only video that I'm a little worried about might offend, but I hope not, because the section or the strain, excuse me, is actually going to be called Dank.Pride. So I think folks will get that because it's all about being prideful of that community. With that, what else is there? I was going to tell a story, and I don't have one. Oh, you know what? I will share a story that I shared earlier today. And then I'll be able to title this. We'll just call it A Chapter from Tales of the Drug Lord. All right. Tales of a Drug Lord. So this is a piece of Tales of the Drug Lord. It's just a small chapter. I'm not even going to go into all the backstory or everything else. I'm just going to tell you where I was and why I thought this story was funny. Okay. It's really a story about the time and place that I was when I had fully excelled to drug lord status. So I had a partner, if you remember, I had 2 grow homes at this time, and I moved 120 pounds a week of commercial, what we call Mexican brickweed. That was done on a daily basis, 6 days a week, 20 pounds a day. I would, in the morning, this is the real story. So, I'll just give you, this was a typical morning, Monday through Saturday at this point in my life. Okay. So I would meet up with my partner. We would usually meet up at any coffee shop that we knew, or any place that we knew served at least coffee and bagels, right? Because we had this real thing at the time, kind of gangsterish. It was our thing, how, true gangsters, right, would they'd sit and eat these like, proper meals kind of thing. And a lot of them actually did eat bagels and cream cheese. So we thought it was just funny, very gangsterish that, here we are, 9 o'clock in the morning, sometimes actually more like 8 o'clock in the morning, we would meet and we would be having our bagels and cream cheese and planning out our day, which was always the same. Our day was never much that different at this point. But it was pretty gangster to us at the time because, we're sitting here, generally speaking, I would be in flip-flops, some shorts. And when I say shorts, even then I had all this money, but I would just wear cutoff. I loved cutoff shorts. They were just the most comfortable at the time. And many times I would be in, a t-shirt, maybe a tank top even. And that was about it. Maybe sunglasses. I think I wore hats occasionally too. I mean, I know I did, but it was always a different hat. That was kind of like the one of the ways that I could have a little different flavor for the day. And so, if you picture all that in your mind, and we're sitting at, some quaint little table that maybe, they're usually little round tables that hold maybe 2 or 3 people at the table. And when we pay, I pull out this stack, this wad of hundreds like this, and, give her a $100 bill every time. It was like, it just felt so gangster to do that, and when she'd bring back the change, I'd take a 50 and leave the rest. And we never spent even $20. I mean, this is bagels, cream cheese, and coffee in the 90s, so it always felt, and all the different places that we went to, they all knew us. So it was, that part of it was pretty gangster. So that would be the beginning. So we had a couple of little technical, I don't know what happened. but I lost internet connection, literally, like just lost it. So I believe where I was that was the beginning of the morning, right? And felt very gangster to us. And so then we would go and we would meet up with the mule. The mule was also my partner's brother, so we knew him very well. We would go to generally one or two gas stations because there was only two ways out of town, really. So we would pretty much stop at the same place. And we always made sure to get there before the mule. Almost 90% of the time we were there before the mule, so that we could do our little it was part of what we considered the completion of our breakfast, because on the way to there, and by the way, one of us would always pick up the other one. It was one of the partners would drive. Many times it was him, usually because he liked to drive. Plus, I rolled joints better and also broke up cocaine better. So in that sense, it was better for me to be the wingman, if you will, and have all the drugs handy, which leads me to Sunny Point. At the gas station, that was always our time to do. We would do what we called quarter gram to even half gram pyramids. And you can imagine all it is breaking up that amount, and then you just keep pushing it into, and these were bumps, by the way. A quarter gram pyramid was a bump. And that means you just take that whole, man, we were nuts. Okay. The same group of people, just to give you an understanding, he, myself, his brother, and then two others, which I'll end up telling more about them as we go on with Tales of Drug Lord. But we would get an 8-ball and just put that in a spiral circle, like the whole 8-ball in this one smooth spiral circle. And then the 5 of us would proceed to take a piece of that circle, and it was gone. That was it, gone. So, this was a group that, how we didn't stop our hearts back then, I can only assume it was because we were young and, vibrant and healthy. I don't know if healthy is the right word. Healthier. Because if I did that today, I'm pretty sure my heart would stop. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody, but I know there's still folks doing it like that. So, but it gets crazy like that. When you watch movies and you see something like Scarface and you see him in that pile of cocaine, I won't say that I've seen that exact same scene in real life, but I have seen pretty damn close. It's many times I will say this. I watch these movies of drugs and I'm like, I constantly judge it. Not because I'm a movie buff. That is true. I do it. The flick dick always has to investigate. But it's also more of, determining what I feel like is realistic and not realistic, especially when they do it from my time, my era of being a drug person and drug lord and drug dealer and all that good stuff. But then just to finish the average day, so we would now do that. We would do that quarter to half. And I'm telling you, really just depending on the day, depending on the night, I should say. If the night had run really long, and when I say run really long, that means that I might have gone to sleep around 6:30, somewhere in there, maybe even 7. Those were the days that we would meet at 9. That was definitely a day that I was probably going to do a half gram pyramid. So typical day, though, was a quarter gram pyramid, which either one still does the same thing. It hits you hard and you're zooted. Just zooted. You wouldn't understand it unless you do it for like 45 minutes. And you're constantly just, doing this because you just constant drain for like a good 10 minutes after you first do it. And I'll tell you that, those were the days. I can't do it. I don't condone it now. And I would hope that my children never do it, but that is what I did. And that was where I lived. And for some reason, I made it through all that. And we'll get to that at the end of the show. But to just finish the typical day. So while we're gagging, that's when we would head out of town and we would go. It was usually about an hour, depending on where we were meeting them, no more than an hour and 10 minutes. We never met in the same place twice, but we had like about 14 different meeting spots, and every day was the same. The only day that was different would be Sunday, because we took Sunday off. So if it was Monday, then I was paying for Saturday, right? But otherwise, I would see these guys. I would give them the cash for the previous day's amount, which was always the same, 600 times 20. And then the other dudes in the car, so they had two cars too, just like us. They had one car that was getting the money, and then the car behind them would run and put the stuff into the mule. Sometimes those cars would actually meet somewhere separate. That did happen from time to time, and then we had to be, mobile phones were already a thing. Texting was not a thing, but pagers were. So we would stay on call and make sure that both things happened before these other two cars left. But it was, it was crazy because that would be the day, and then that would just happen the next day because the 20 that I was getting that day was always on the front. And the beautiful thing about that is, how did I leave this out? I forget things. I am a stoner. I told you breakfast would start at that time, but before, we would go and meet. After breakfast, actually, the first thing we had to do was run by 3 stops. Now, typically, the mule would make one of those, and we'd make 2 of those. Each one of those guys had, each one was doing 5, 5, and 10. So there was our 20. And then, that took a long time. I just want to be clear. Like, once we got to that point, it was beautiful, but that took about, from the time I got into it with Lola and got the money for, to start this little empire that I was building, I think that took about a little over 3 years to get to that consistent point. Then after that, or I'll just say after we got the weed, then we would drive on. We didn't actually see the mule after that because the mule would then drive and deliver the 5, 5, and 10 to those guys. But the beautiful part that I was trying to get to is that they would pay up front. So the 5, 5, and 10 guys paid me up front. I took their money because I literally went right from them to the mule. I would take mine and my partner's money off the top of the stack, give that stack to pay off the people to the mule. We would then make the drive, and it was like clockwork. This was every day, 6 days a week for, I want to say that scenario lasted for almost a year, and then everything came crumbling down, as they say. The part that wasn't in it to begin with, and what I mean by that is we started and then we did the grow houses, but that was we did one at a time. So within 2 months of kind of getting to that consistent level, we opened up the grow house, which again, the mule was part of that. That was a beauty, and we'll get into that another day. But the way that we did those homes was really beautiful. So the only thing that's different in that sense is that at one point it became, after we came back, then it was we go check on our plants and sit around, get high all day, watch movies all day, play video games all day. Then he and I would separate, and then I'd go home and smoke crack all night, and then usually look for prostitutes or whores or hookers or somebody that would touch my penis, But that was another day. But that was the typical day. So that's what we'll title this episode, because I'm not going to go back and do it. So the title of the episode will be Tales from a Drug Lord. Typical day from 9 to 5. I'll think of something better. Day to day. Now, the ins and outs of a drug. I'll think of it. We'll figure it out. Either way, you know what it is. I know we're not live, but you folks love it when I dab. So I can't. It's been nice because I haven't had to do this over here, and checking things out. I will go back to this. Please subscribe, please. Yeah, no, there's no begging. No begging here, man. If you don't want to describe me, that's right. I said describe me. You don't want to describe to me, then don't. I don't care. It does not bother me. I will still sit here and do my dab and talk in Ukraine accent. It just got moved right over. Just right over to Ukraine. Yes. God bless those dudes. I will say this, one of the channels that I subscribe to, and I think I do it as Spirit of 420, I'm pretty sure. But you should find this dude. What is it? Homemade. Guy's got over 1 million subscribers. It's not going to be that hard to find him. And just read the description, because this dude he is in Ukraine, and he was in finance. Last time I looked, about 2 weeks ago, he had just done a video in the last 2 weeks. So last I looked, in the last 4 or 5 weeks, there's been a new posting, so I know he's okay. But I've actually continued to kind of worry about him, been like, is this dude going to be okay, and what's going to happen in regards to all that? Don't you like when I pre-record though? See, look at there, the smoke and everything's back. As I don't get political, I will make no comments of the validity or anything like that of it. All I'll say is I consistently worry about that guy and other Ukrainian safety, because it's not very safe over there right now. That's not political. That's just facts. I can't stand. Oop, sorry, that was bumped it. Hopefully, Grizz, you're watching, because I'm just want to pet just stroke it. Oh, it's dusty. It's not been used properly. That's what she said. But back to the Ukrainian thing. I try to stick comedy in there everywhere. That's what he said. Perfect timing. I do pray for those folks. I pray for all of them. I hope that whatever's going to happen can finish quickly and we can go back to some more peaceful times. But as a lot of people have been pointing out, and again, not stating anything political, it's just a big time of turmoil around the world. United States, Asia, Europe, Africa. I mean, everywhere is just fucking insane right now. So I will see on the next episode. It is insane, and that's not necessarily the same as strange. Strange does not mean insane. So when I say this is not in conjunction with the world being insane. What I'm saying is that each and every one of us are independently different in our own way, which makes us strange to others. But that is the reality that most people don't realize just how normal strange actually is. And in fact, most people have opinions, right? And what's that thing about opinions? Everybody's got them, and everybody's just like assholes, right? Opinions are just like assholes. Everybody has them. Everybody thinks that everybody else's stinks. Well, mine personally stink like dank ass weed, which I'm going to fire this up. Oh, I'm doing it backwards. My opinions stink like fresh brewed coffee. God, that mix is so good. What a great blend. Fresh brewed coffee and dank fucking weed, man. You gotta smoke that dank weed so you can get high like me. I made the dog bark. He don't know I'm in the house. He thinks I'm someone else. That's enough of that voice. I'll probably bring it back, though, just because why the fuck not? It's funny. I mean, it's like a mix of, how do you say, it's literally like Gomer Pyle on drugs. That's what it is. Because, he was already messed up, but that's him on drugs. We'll call it Gomer Pyle on drugs. All right. Until the next episode, each and every one of you are awesome. I love all of you, even the ones that hate me. That's fine. I don't care. It's part of the world. You're going to have people that love you. You're going to have people that hate you. Fact is, each and everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to. So just know that if I'm supposed to do this, that's the way it was supposed to happen. And in fact, when I come over here and start messing with these buttons, that means I'm probably getting ready to leave you and say goodbye. And as a matter of fact, that is the case. And I believe I started with a green, so I'll end with a green. Until the next episode, folks.